figured at the age of 51, if I'm going to write a book, it should be honest and it should be real, and I should put in everything that I have to say, because I know I'm not writing another one. This is it. So I knew that I had to say things that I had never said to anyone before. So I had been molested. I don't even know how old I was. I was a young little girl. I don't even know how old I was. It was a friend of the family, and he did his whatever with me. And I'm not sure if my sisters had gone through that, because, see, I never talked to them about sex. I never talked to my mother about it, so I never told on this man because I was afraid of what they might have done to him. And I was afraid, I was just afraid because it was such a nasty thought, so I just never talked about it. But I never ever thought that it was my fault. I never ever thought that it was my fault. The only thing that I fought myself for is not talking about it sooner with my mother and with my sisters and letting them know. Because if you keep this stuff in, then these wild men will keep on doing this stuff, and they'll keep on doing it until you like talk about it and tell on them. And I advise anyone out there who's going through it, it could be a man or a woman, a girl or a boy. If you're going through it, you should talk about it, and you should tell on these people, because they're bad, bad people, and it's not your fault. And I never thought it was my fault. But I talked about it in the book because I thought it was necessary to talk about that part of my life. I mean, I talked about the good parts, so why not talk about the bad?
What was the toughest thing to write about?
There were two. The story about my sister, Jackie, who, my last sister who died of cancer, who wanted me to do something very, very small for her, and I said no. I said no to it, and that was making her a sandwich and taking it to the hospital. You know, sometimes you say no to your sisters and your brothers because they're your sisters and your brothers, and they'll always love you and forgive you. And it was such an ugly moment in my life that I don't even like to talk about now, but it's real. And I talk about it because I know there are people out there who have gone through things like this. You say no to your siblings because you can. And I said no to her about a simple egg sandwich that I didn't want to make at the time she needed it. And then maybe 2 or 3 days after that, she died. So it was too late for me to like make that up. It's just so many. Anyway, that was a hard one. And the one about Jackie Wilson was very hard. Because nobody would want to think that their hero, who was my hero also, would try to rape someone. And he tried this a long time ago at a theater in New York, a long time ago. And I couldn't believe that this had happened to me. I couldn't believe that he was the one.
He tried to grab you in a hallway.
Yes, he and his
assistant. An assistant.
And I just couldn't believe that. So it was hard for me to talk about that and the story about the egg sandwich.
How do you forgive someone who does that to you? How do you forgive?
I thought he was drunk. I just gave it up to the alcohol. I said he was not himself. I just wanted to blame it on something because I said it couldn't have been the real Jackie Wilson. It was a drunk Jackie Wilson. And he was just looking for a woman at that moment, and it wasn't necessarily me. It was just a woman walking by at the time. So I did forgive him before he passed. I said that, you know, and the hard part about this book is writing that about someone who's not here to defend himself. I mean, he can't say that. So that's awful for me to like say, because there are 3 sides to every story. Your side, his side, and the truth.
Somewhere in the middle is the truth.
It's like I'm saying, but I have no reason to lie. Like I said, when I wrote this book, I had no reason to lie for sensationalism or anything, because I wasn't. Oh,
as the man says, you are sensational.
As Boo says, that's my boo out there. But I'm just saying that it was very hard for me to write about him and my sister.
When we come back, will you tell us what you tell yourself is the greatest inspiration? After writing this book, the greatest revelation that you found within yourself as you came round to yourself at 52. Tell us what that is right after this. We'll be back in a minute. All during the commercial break, I got to tell you this. Patti Labelle has been signing autographs, hobnobbing with folks like...
Thank you for wanting my autograph and buying my book. They bought the book and brought it here for me to sign.
Right. Let me ask you this. When you finished that last chapter, you'd written that last line, and you sat back and went, what did you think? What was that thought that you had, the greatest revelation?
Is that I just thought that it was time for me to stop complaining about small things in my life, about not getting my FedEx on time, and things like my shoes hurting my feet, or just not having my McDonald's when I want it. You know, just things like right now I'm saying I'm hungry,
Uh-huh.
but I can think about the people who don't get a meal at all.
That's right.
I can think about the people who don't have shelter, and I always put myself in when I start complaining, I say, just remember what you could be in. I could be in an ugly situation. I'm a very blessed person. And I realized at the end of the book, I said, I'm not going to complain anymore. I'm not going to be a victim anymore, because after being able to talk about some of these things that I've been holding, I'm no longer a victim.
No more blocking
the blessings, and no more complaining. I'm not complaining anymore because I'm a blessed person. We're all so blessed to be here today, to have a meal and to have a shelter, just to have shelter. Just me.
And listen, there's a young man over here. As we say goodbye, everybody, thanks for joining us. But before we say goodbye, young man over here has a tribute for you at the end of the show. What is your name?
I swear this is not planned.
Floyd Simmons, this is just for you.
What is it?
Ready?
Yeah, this is a painting I did for you. I started this morning at 4 o'clock.
Oh,
This is awesome.
that is beautiful. Oh,
Awesome. God. Are you serious? Is this yours? Want me to sign it?